I love indie perfume houses, and here are my top 5. Welcome back, everybody, to JoelTheNose. Thank you for watching. If you are subscribing, thank you. Remember to ring the bell so you get notifications when I do new videos. Again, I try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new videos, long form, where I go into a little bit more detail. And if you haven't subscribed, I would humbly ask for you to follow me. So let's get right into this. This is something that I've never done this video before, as far as my top 5 favorite indie houses. And you know, indie houses to me are one of the lifebloods of perfumery right now. In this sea of overdone, same smelling, designer fragrances, even a lot of niche fragrances that are just kind of redoing flankers, this, that, whatever. I like how indie houses now are kind of popping up more. There are a lot of them, and some of them to me are better than others. Unfortunately, I smelled a lot of them who are just basically copying popular fragrances. I think a lot of them are a little bit of a money grab, and they're like, okay, hey, we see how profitable this is, and they just copy some, you know, famous fragrances, but not these 5 houses. They are unique. They are artist driven. They are each kind of very individually outstanding, and let's talk about them. All right, so I'm gonna go with my number 5 fragrance, and this is a local indie perfumer from South Florida, and they really started out as a candle company, and the name of it is called Candle Cafe Aromas. Excuse me. And I'll try to put a link to everyone's website down. And by the way, I'm not getting anything from any of these people, so my videos are done because I have passion about what I'm talking about, okay? And what I have here is I met them probably about 5 or 6 months ago at this event in Miami. Excuse me. And it was an amazing event with local kind of artisans and craftsmen, and they were there, and I saw them, and I walked up, and I had this great conversation. It's a husband and wife team that own this, and this is the fragrance that I got that day that I bought, and it's called Oak Oud. Oak Oud. And so what they do is, rather than using perfumer's alcohol, their fragrances use kind of natural oils like jojoba oil or things like that. So what you do is, this is not something you spray on. This is actually, as you can see here, a dropper. So you just drop that onto your skin. Oh, and it's so invigorating. It's great for your skin because it's got that jojoba oil, and it's got different, again, that really just moisturizes your skin, leaves it feeling very smooth. And because of that, it also lasts really long on your skin. So they have a number of fragrances. You can check them out. Go to their website or their Instagram. And again, Oak Oud was my favorite that I smelled that day. And I love supporting, of course, local companies. And this is a company that they started maybe a couple years ago. And they're just killing it, making the rounds, hustling, going to all these like local events where you can, you know, have artisans and craftsmen. And like I said before, art fairs, art shows, all different kinds of stuff. So check that out. Again, I always want to make sure I say it wrong. Right, Candle Cafe Aromas. And you can get other stuff. They have, like I said, a lot of candles and different things. I have some of their candles, and they're amazing too. All right, let's go to number 4. And this is the second newest one in my collection. And this is from a indie house called Fleurite. Love the bottles, love the design, love the artistry. They're based out of San Diego, but they take all their kind of their inspiration from French perfumery and from classic perfumery, but with this kind of California vibe. And I've never really seen anyone do that. And I think, again, as an indie house, you got to kind of find your niche, no pun intended, your niche, and, you know, to really separate yourself. And so this is a cool one. This is Sant Fume. Wonderful fragrance. I have another one that's more of a tobacco fragrance, but this is very kind of warm, sexy, nighttime date fragrance, a little bit sweet, a little bit woody, If you like Baccarat Rouge or that kind of a genre, you're gonna really love this. So again, got this, picked it up, got to know the house probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and really recommend it for those of you who want to try something new and try something different where you're not gonna smell like every other person wearing the same fragrances. All right, let's go to my number 3, and this is my newest pickup. This is from the house, which is called Nicholas Paul. He's a former mixologist for years, so he's been in this kind of creative world with, scent and smell and taste. And Nicholas Paul, this is his very first release, came out, I think, the beginning of this year, and it's called Academia. And this is a wonderful leather fragrance. Very dry. First of all, I love the bottle. I love it's all black. And, I talked to the creative director for the brand. They are going, if you go to their website, again, I'll put the information, below, but they're going for this edgy artist look. So again, trying to find your niche within the niche world. They're going for people that are looking for something that is alternative, more artistic, a little bit more edgy, a little dark. That's what this fragrance is. And I know they're coming out with a new one soon. I can't wait to try it. But this is, I gotta say, probably one of my favorite. I would put this in my top 5 leather fragrances right now. So there's obviously a lot of great leather fragrances, but I would put this in my top 5. This is a very dry leather, which I like. It's a smooth, dry leather that lasts, I get about 8 hours on my skin. So for their first release, to knock it out of the park like this one, I gotta give Nicholas Paul a lot of credit. Let's go to my number 2. And this is from, I talked about one of his fragrances in a recent video. This is from Zernell Gilly, and it is Disco. And again, these are just examples of the different fragrances. I really love hip hop, which I've talked about before. Disco, I also, let me just spray it here. This one has just got, I love how it matches the name. So Zernell Gilly is a world-renowned DJ, if you don't know that. Like, from Chicago originally, he lives out in California now, and he travels the world doing major DJ sets all around the world. He's been doing it for a long time. And I met him in Miami because Miami, of course, is a big scene for EDM and DJ music. And so I met him probably about 1.5 years ago. And I picked up disco, hip hop, techno, 3 of his fragrances. I know he has a new one out. And I'm forgetting the name right now, but I know some of you will remember because people have commented why I haven't reviewed it yet because I haven't smelled it yet. So, but disco's got this, I don't know, it's just got this bump. It's got this liveliness. It's, of all the fragrances he released, it's probably closest to his, what he does in real life, being a DJ. Disco, mixing that kind of music. It's got this, I don't know, it just feels like you put this on, it gives you a little bit of lively step, makes you feel a little bit energized, very much like a disco would, an all-night disco, partying, Saturday night, Friday night. So, but make no mistake, he's released, I think, 5 fragrances now. They're amazing. They are 50 milliliters. They are extraits, so they're very concentrated. You're gonna get an excellent wear from them, a nice projection. And again, someone who's found a niche. So he ties all of his perfumes around a musical genre. Very cool. All right. And of course, last but not least, and I know a lot of you are probably guessing who my favorite indie house is, and this is probably never gonna change. It would be hard. And that is Therapia by Aroma. And today I have in front of me, or with me, Nightfall, which came out a couple years ago. It was actually her first masculine, just for men release. And it's so wonderful. I wear this all the time. If you are a person who likes freshies, but is tired of course, the Aqua de Joes, the Bleu de Chanels, the Dior Sauvage, the 1 Millions, all those kind of, marine blue, aquatic freshies, this is for you. It's a little bit more expensive than her normal 100 milliliter bottles. Like normally they're 30, 35. This one I think is 75, 60, 75, somewhere in that range. It's so worth it. First of all, think about that. That's still extremely cheap. And this is all handmade by, of course, Irene. Irene makes everything by batch, herself handmade, all the fragrances. So you can go to her website, again, I'll link it. You can check it out, her perfumes. There's not one that I don't like. And she has got, I don't know, probably over 50 that she has for sale right now. So Nightfall, again, if you want to feel like a man, you want to feel good for the summer, you want to feel fresh, and you just want something that's unique, handmade by a French perfumer trained in Grasse, France. She's from France originally, lives here in Miami now. Nothing beats Therapy by Aroma. And by the way, almost all the perfumes, for those of you who don't know, have a 30 milliliter option, which is $20. Yes, you heard that right. And the 100 milliliters are $30 or $35. You heard that right. Almost all of them, like I said, with a few that are a little bit more higher priced, that have more expensive materials. So there you go, my top 5 indies. Let me know, guys. This is a great video to get feedback because I always want to be introduced to new ones. Indies sometimes can be under the radar. You know, you don't hear about them. They're not, you know, massively promoted. They don't have big marketing budgets. So a lot of times it's word of mouth. I've gotten a lot of my recommendations over the years from you guys who tell me about a perfume and then I go check it out. So thanks for that. And thank you guys for watching. And remember, don't be a wimp. Spray like a pimp.
You guys always smell great. Who do you trust for fragrance reviews?
JoelTheNose.
JoelTheNose.
JoelTheNose.